was so excited that my little potato gun business, I was making like $100 a day. I'm the richest kid on campus right now. This is amazing, right? And then something really, really bad happened. Google slapped me.
The man, Brunson.
5 years ago, same time Dagan and I started hanging out, talking again, we would decide to do this workshop. And at the time, he had gotten me onto this course by two guys, Michael Haig and Chris Vogler. They go in this course, they were talking about how, like, if you look at every Hollywood movie from the beginning of time till now, almost every successful movie follows the exact same pattern. And so Dagan and I asked if we could get Michael Haig to come speak, and he came and he spoke for like 6 hours at our event all about story. But I had no idea like how to get it to work for like what I do, because it was really so big and complex. Okay, and one thing Michael said, he said that all stories are simple at their core. There are three core things to every story. There's a character, that character has some desire, something that they want, and then on the path, on the journey of them to get that thing, they run into some kind of conflict. Now what I wanna do, is I wanna show you guys, how do we take that? Because after Michael Haig taught us that, I was like, oh, this is so cool. How do I do that with what I'm doing? Like there's so many layers and complexity, and I'm like, how do I simplify that? And so for years, like literally over 4 years, I was trying to figure some things out. And I wanna show you guys what we come up with. And we call this, inside the inner circle, call this the Epiphany Bridge script. So this is the script. So it starts over here with the backstory. This is the first part of where you tell good stories, right? Now the goal of the backstory is to get rapport with your audience so they actually care if you achieve the thing at the end. Now there's two things we have to share with our audience. Number one are our external desires. And these are the ones that most of you guys are comfortable with, like, I want to lose weight. Oh, I want to make money. Oh, I want to do whatever, right? And these are the ones that most people feel comfortable sharing because it's like the surface level, whatever, right? It's the journey of transformation or of achievement. Like, oh yeah, I want that. I want to achieve that. But then you have to stop. And the second thing you have to share are your internal desires. Okay, now internal desires are the things that most of us don't typically ever share. We think them, we feel them, but we don't ever talk about it. And so as soon as you start sharing your internal desires, this is when people will relate to you, because like, man, I can't believe you said that. Like, that's how I feel. I don't ever talk about that with anybody. And so to get to the internal desire, a lot of times you say, here's the external desire. I want to make a lot of money. And to get to the internal, you usually ask why, about 7 or 8 times. Well, why? I never had money before. I think it'd be kind of cool. Okay, well, why do you want that? Well, I just got married and it'd be cool to be able to support my wife. I want to have kids someday. Okay, cool. Why do you want to do that? My parents growing up were good supporters, and I want to be like them. Well, why is that? Why? And you keep getting deeper and deeper and deeper, and eventually you'll get to the real internal desires, which typically are related to, you want to feel loved, you want to feel acceptance, you want to change the world, you want whatever those things are that are internal to you. All right, how many of you guys want to hear me do an Epiphany Bridge story following that script? All right. So it starts with a backstory. So I'm gonna embarrass my wife, she's here, so I hope she's not gonna kill me. After we first got married, we had a little bit of credit card debt we wrapped up. We couldn't move forward because we were stuck, and so we sat down and we're like, if we're gonna be successful and like we wanna have a home someday and all the things we want to have kids someday, like we have to figure out how to get out of debt. And so this is a picture we took in the very first duplex we were renting, and it's a picture of her and me cutting up our credit cards. And so we were sitting there, and it was just like, it was really like, we were joking, making fun about the whole crying thing, but it was an emotional thing, like, oh, like, I know we want to like have a family and kids and all these amazing things, but we can't because all these things we're working aren't working. So we have to stop like what we're doing. We have to cut up our credit cards and figure out a different way, right? And so my desire was like, I have desires to help her, and I want to make money. That was my first goal. But if you want to be completely honest, it wasn't just I wanted to make money. I knew that after we first got married, I was going to wrestling practice and having fun. I was going to school and having fun. I'd come home at night, and at night she would go and she served tables at night to be able to have the money so we could pay our rent and so we could eat. And honestly, as like a new husband, to know that your wife's working 2 jobs while you're having fun, like living your dreams, I felt guilty and I felt bad. I was like, oh, like, I want to be part of, I want to help in this relationship. I couldn't get a job because I wanted to wrestle. Like that was my thing. I couldn't quit wrestling. So I had to figure out some other way to make money. One spring break, one of my buddies, this is Nate Plone. We sat at home and we're like, well, what should we do all day? He's like, I don't know, I want to make a potato gun. I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I'm in, let's do it. So we spent the whole week like making potato guns, had so much fun, shooting potatoes that weekend. After that, I'd been learning about internet marketing at the time. And I talked to Nate. I was like, hey, I think I want to try to sell something online, and I want to sell potato gun plans. And I did some research and I looked at the time, there were 18,000 searches a month for the keyword potato gun plans, and nobody was selling that. So I'm like, cool, I can sell potato gun plans. I'm gonna be the potato gun plan guy. So I talked to Nate, I convinced him to go and film a DVD with me. So we went out and we filmed the DVD. So we built this thing and it was awesome. We were having some fun with it and we started selling it. And then we hit this wall. Okay, something really, really bad happened. Google slapped me. Whoopsh. I was selling it on Google. I think at the time we were spending about $10 to $15 a day and we were making 1 or 2 sales a day. So we're making 30 to 50 bucks a day. And it was like the greatest thing in the world. And all of a sudden Google slapped me. And it was like, it was done. I couldn't make any money anymore. And then I had this epiphany. In fact, it wasn't an epiphany. One of my friends called me. He was like, Russell, and at the time he had a similar business to mine. He had a bunch of these little websites and he was selling them. He said, look, all my websites stopped working because Google changed the algorithm and prices went up. He's like, but I started doing this thing. I started adding upsells to my pages. He said that what I found is about 20, 30% of people who bought the first product started buying the upsell and completely changed my business. I'm back on Google, we're making money again. I was like, are you serious? So I went back to my old potato gun DVD. I found a guy in northern Idaho who actually made potato guns and did a deal with him where he drop shipped potato guns to people who bought my plans. We set up an upsell, had my very first upsell in place, and we started making money. And I was like, I'm back, like we're back in business. And I was so excited that my little potato gun business, I was spending $20 or $30 a day and I was making like $100 a day. And I was like, I'm the richest kid on campus right now. This is amazing, right? It was so cool. And so because of that, I devised this plan. I was like, okay, I did it in potato gun markets, like where else can we do it? And so my slightly evil plan was to do this 1,000,000 times. And so we did it in the weight loss market. We tried it in network marketing, tried it all sorts of places. It was amazing. We were launching funnel after funnel after funnel after funnel. We launched 12 new companies in 1 year, but it was horrible. And so that's when I hit this conflict. I realized, look, for me to keep launching these little funnels, like I have to have a designer, a programmer, a copywriter. And for me to get one little funnel live, I'd have an entire staff of people. It was costing me anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000 a month as it kept growing, and it got harder and harder and harder, and we couldn't do it anymore. And luckily at that time I had this friend named Todd Dickerson, and he flew to Boise, and we were hanging out one day in front of a whiteboard, and he said, what if we create something so that I could quit making you a new funnel every single week? I was like, is it really that bad? He's like, yeah, we do the same funnel every week. I don't want to do it anymore. What if we made this thing and we could make a website builder? We could just like have the templates and put things in place. I was like, that sounds awesome. And so we started building this thing that became Clickfunnels. We met this guy named Dylan. He came out, he had this editor, he had this thing, we started putting those things together. And soon we had this amazing program where I could actually build funnels by myself. I didn't need a tech team of 50 or 100 people. And the coolest thing in the world happened. I was able to achieve my dreams. I was able to make a business, make money. My wife was able to not have to work. We had a bunch of kids, but the coolest thing for me, see that picture of my kids? I got to hang out with my kids now. My kids are building funnels with us. How cool is that? Like it's the most amazing experience in the world and it's completely transformed my life. And that is the Epiphany Bridge script. Boom.